right, today I'm going to be getting into the C blues, the key of C on the acoustic guitar, doing some finger picking and doing a bunch of different variations on a 12-bar blues. I really like the key of C. It has some interesting characteristics to it. I would say it's a happier, more uplifting sounding key because it's got just the basic chords, the C, the F, and the G. Just have kind of more of a happier, prettier sound, I guess you could say, as compared to like maybe E blues, which is a little bit lower, you know, more low down kind of sounding. So I'm just going to play through some stuff and then we'll talk about it. Let's jump into it. Here we go. All right, now I should mention before we dive into it that this is in a shuffle groove, so there's an underlying groove of pop, 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 that you want to keep going and keep following with, even if you're doing some single note, you know, soloing or whatnot. So what I was doing there was like a parallel harmony. Basically, this is a sixth. And I was just doing that walk up for a C chord. You can also add on the first string there, like. And you can also walk it in the other direction and use it for a turnaround too. Ends on a C chord, so you got. But you can also go. So that's a very useful sequence of notes that you can kind of play around with and use in a solo. Then I went to an F chord up the neck a little bit here. So this is kind of at the 5th fret, this shape here. Then I went back to the C walk up. Then for the G chord I did a walk down. So I went. So that was for the G chord. And then I went to the F chord after that. And then I did a walk down. All right, cool. So let's try something else. So in that variation, this is something really cool that you can do, especially if you're, you know, an acoustic, solo acoustic guitar player, is you can do a solo using bass notes. So that's basically what I was doing there. I was using that C here, and this is a blue note. So I was doing a little bit of a bend there. And then I did a walk down to a C7. So a C7 is a C chord with a B flat note. But I did a low B flat note. So I went. Then I went into the F chord and basically using the notes from like an F boogie woogie. Like. But just messing around with it. Then I went back to the rhythm, back to some picking, turn around. All right, let's try something else. Here we go. right, cool. So in that one I did a little parallel harmony, and then I started to take it up the neck, and then I did this shape here, which is like a D chord shape down the 2nd fret, but up at the 12th fret, it's a C chord. And then we went back into the F chord, I think that's what I did. Did the walk up some more, and I did this. That's a G7 chord there. And I did that F chord that I like. Turn around. So that's something cool that you can do. So you can just kind of mix these different things up. Let's try a rhythmic variation. So here's more of a rhythmic variation. So in that, we've got the basic sort of, that's our main rhythm, boom, chuck, with an underlying blues shuffle going cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. But then I start doing the actual shuffle with the thumb. That's kind of what I call a rolling thumb, or a shuffle thumb. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I put that in every once in a while. F chord. So that's a cool riff there. Then I just went back to the straight up rhythm at the end there. So you can always go back to the rhythm, you know, if you're finger picking and you're doing soloing stuff. It's important to keep in mind that most of the time you want to be holding down chords or chord shapes or harmonies, things that fill up a lot of sound, because the sort of single note soloing style that you might do more with, like, you know, on an electric guitar doesn't work quite as well with the acoustic. But let's do one like that. So here's something that's a little bit more almost electric-like. So there, I would just started on a C chord down here, but then I went up to this. This is another way to play a C chord up the neck here, basically based out of what you would think of as an F shape. And then you can do this. That's your blues note there that you can bend a little bit, the 11th fret. That's the same as this, what we were doing on the bass, you know, earlier, but you're just doing it up higher. That's the kind of stuff I would use more if I was playing with a band. You know, if you have a bass player, you know, and another guitar player, because it kind of pops through a little bit more easier, cuts through, I should say, more easier when you're playing up high. But doing the other types of variations, rhythmic variations, bass variations, is really cool when you're playing solo. You got a lot of freedom if you're doing a solo, you know, acoustic blues. If you're finding this useful, please leave me a comment. I do appreciate it. Subscribe to this channel to get more content like this. What I think I'll do now is just kind of improvise a bit, mix some of these ideas together, and see what happens. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you got something out of this little guitar hangout. Leave me a comment. Please subscribe to this channel. I'll see you next time.